South and west.
WeatherScope.
Good evening and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Paul Emick. We have a lot to cover tonight. That includes severe weather that hit Florida a bit earlier today, plus a live report from Super Bowl 32 in San Diego. But we begin with the snow and the ice in the Northeast. With all the details, here's Jeff Morrow in the Forecast Center. Jeff?
Thanks, Paul. We definitely still have a wintry mess, particularly away from the coastal areas in New England until you get up into Maine, and then it's snow and sleet and freezing rain, even right on down to most of the coastal areas as well. But again, when you get away from the coast, we have lots of sleet and freezing rain to talk about. And if you head far enough to the north, you get into some snow. And that's where our own Jim Cantore has reporting to us live. And if you look real hard here, yeah, here he comes, skiing down, taking a couple of turns. He's at Stowe, Vermont, ski area there in northern Vermont. And Jim, how much snow do you think you have on the slopes there?
Jeff, we probably got to 10, 11 inches, and this is actually the lightest the snow has come down in about the last 3 hours or so. Tough job, isn't it, here? Anyway, you can look up the mountain here. Here we are at Stowe, Vermont, right at the Midway Lodge. Earlier on, the gondola was running till about 8 o'clock, and that is for the night skiing here, but the winds gusted to 65, 70 miles an hour up top, and they said, oh no, we're going to shut down the gondola. We don't deal with swaying gondolas. That's a dangerous thing. So we've been off for a while now, and actually this place is pretty much cleared out with the exception of a few boarders, and they've decided to kind of climb up the half pipe back there and take a couple of runs down. It's actually absolutely beautiful. Very, very powdery snow. This is the kind of snow that skiers' dreams are made of, Jeff. We got about, as I mentioned, 10, 11 inches here, and it continues to come on down. It's been kind of a long day. But folks, again, if you're out driving tonight, make sure you drive carefully. There have been numerous accidents around the Burlington area and all across the secondary roads because of the snow cover and, of course, the rate that the snow has been coming down. It's been coming down an inch or two an hour, and they've even closed, or not closed the airport, but canceled some of the flights in and out of Burlington this evening. So it has been a rough one, but definitely a positive one for the ski industry here in Vermont. Jeff, back to you.
And the good news here, it appears like there's really not going to be that much significant freezing rain where you are.
And that's great news, Jeff, because if you need me tomorrow morning, I'll be making first tracks.
All right. Jim Cantore reporting live. Can't seem to get the smile off his face on these live shots. All right. Again, that's Jim up in Stowe, Vermont. We'll be checking back with him in about a half an hour, see if the snow's still piling up. Colin Marquis, senior meteorologist. Aside from the good times that the skiers are having, some treacherous travel out there.
Yeah, we've talked about the heavy snow, but you know, the folks in New England can deal with that. They expect that in the wintertime.
Right.
We have had some heavy rain for the big cities, but really I think the story tonight is significant icing taking place now from just north of Hartford. It's actually gone over a little bit of rain now at Bradley Field, but north of there and into central and western Massachusetts, looks like areas could receive about a ½ inch of icing before it's all said and done.
Don't like to hear that. Let's take a look first of all at our current weather map, and let's point out some of the areas. It's the old layer cake here. In other words, we have anywhere south of there, the green is the rain, then we have a little layer of sleet and freezing rain in between. Up where Jim is, it is all snow, and that has to do with the deepness or thickness of the cold air.
Sure, as you head farther and farther north, we have a thicker layer of cold air near the surface. The warm, moist air is still heading up and over that cold air, but it is a thicker layer of cold air and therefore supportive of snow. The heaviest snow now is falling across portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
And the coldest of air appears to be up here in Maine, and that's probably where the snow will hang on the longest.
Absolutely.
All right, and here's our precipitation. Again, let's see if we can get in here just a little bit closer and show us exactly where the freezing rain is right now.
Okay, about 10, 15, 20 miles west of Boston, and then basically along the Massachusetts and Connecticut border, like so, and then up toward Albany. So all areas north of there reporting, well, I shouldn't say that because then there's a snow line across extreme southern New Hampshire. So areas in between the two lines that I've drawn there is where the significant icing is taking place, in particular Springfield, Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts, and on toward Fitchburg and into the Manchester area right now. Manchester freezing rain and sleet right now.
And the heaviest snow will be up here, of course, where Jim is. He's about right up in there, and he says he estimates about 10 inches, but some areas could get over a foot.
Up toward extreme northern New Hampshire, and still many more hours of accumulating snow for western Maine, particularly Sunday River and Sugarloaf areas for the skier viewers in our audience.
But if you are watching us and you see Jim up there and you say, oh, we have to head to the slopes tonight, be careful.
You gotta take it easy because the roadways are going to be a little bit treacherous.
Yeah, particularly as you head farther to the north. All right, thanks, Colin. Colin will be back in a half an hour. We'll keep you updated on this northeast storm. If you can't watch the Weather Channel on your cable, then you can always check us out at weather.com, our website. Let's go back to Paul. He has a look at the rest of the nation's weather, including a trip to the Super Bowl site.
That's right. We'll take that trek momentarily, Jeff. Heavy rain and severe storms. We'll talk about that first. That crossed portions of Florida today, and that leads our look at the rest of the nation. A confirmed tornado tour through the Indigo Mobile Home Park in Grove City this morning. Charlotte County officials say several people reported seeing the tornado. 20 to 25 other homes are reported damaged, too, but thankfully no reports of injuries. That is good news. But, wow, what a mess. Here's what's happening in the southeast. You see that cold front there? Giant lifter, that's its job. It's a leading edge of a cooler air mass. It's trying its best to cool off at least the panhandle. That cooler air is also drier. That's why we're not seeing the rain behind the front tonight. But along it, yeah, still a chance of some additional showers. Vero Beach reporting some rain now, and still a little more impending rain could kick on in toward Tampa, St. Pete, or Clearwater. The action is not as intense as it was.